Spectrum of One. Written by Botgal and read by Sean Spencer and my partner, 24 Pudding Cups.
Hello. You're kidding me. All these guns around your hive and you never shot any of them? Not even once?
Jude glared at the alien chiding him as he continued to load up the variety of guns that Dammek had stolen from around Half Harley Manor. Well, it's not exactly like I had a lot of use for them. I had my foam dart guns and my flare guns, all I really needed. He shrugged. Besides, Joey didn't want me playing around with him. Both she and our babysitter yelled at me whenever I tried to carry one around, so I dropped it. He clicked the final bullet into place and reached for another magazine. Besides, I couldn't handle a lot of them easily. Pa only got these handguns recently. These more for rifles and old-timey revolvers that were too heavy to carry around.
Seriously, the tech around your house is so primitive. Feels like this stuff should be in a museum.
Jude sighed as he loaded up another bullet and gave Dammek an impatient look. How's the food coming?
It's coming.
He grumped as he poked into the slot with a stick. As per usual, the fridge was pretty bare as far as food went, as were the cupboards. The most they could find in the kitchen was an empty bag of dog food on the floor and some crumbs that looked like they had to have come from something that was tiny, stale, and the absolute worst up in a cupboard. Not even their babysitter's bottle of magic spice mix, thanks to Joey having taken it during a fight with the monster that had eaten poor Frohike. Rest his poor soul. Thankfully, Jude liked to consider himself always resourceful and well-prepared, so Alien and Human both snuck into the basement and were able to scrounge up what looked like some really old and dusty packages of baking stuff from a knocked-down pile of boxes in the basement, along with some snacks and soda that Jude kept stocked in his room for emergencies. Then a quick nip into Joey's room, only to find it seriously messed up. The culprit apparently having been a net full of guns that had fallen from the attic through the floor and into the room, going off and spraying a barrage of bullets everywhere in the room. Not everything was destroyed, but bullet holes pockmarked pretty much everywhere. Even so, the two boys managed to grab a few things that might be of use. In particular, Joey's Easy Bake Oven and Junior Veterinarian's medkit. Hey, if it worked on animals, it should work for people, right? Well, a person and an alien. Two of the only items which had thankfully been spared any sort of damage. Not like poor Mother Puppy Surprise in our brood. Rest in peace, dear sweet Puppy Surprise. There they were back in the treehouse, after making a quick stop to make sure the poor scared Tesseract was comforted, fed, and watered, messing with food and ammunition to get everything going decently. Jude didn't even know how Dammek had managed to jury-rig the Easy Bake Oven to work up in the treehouse, but he decided not to ask on account of he was hungry and the guns needed loading.
Ow! Fingle fangle!
Dammek swore as he dropped the hot pan on the floor, sucking at a finger he'd apparently burned. The little aluminum pan held some cake they had tried to make. It smelled burnt and looked dry, but beggars couldn't be choosers. You okay? Jude asked as he put down another gun.
Yeah, I'm fine. Just burned myself on this stupid thing.
He pulled the finger from his mouth and blew on it, then started on scooping the little cake onto a plate and poured some mix into the pan.
If this thing could make bigger servings, this would be a lot easier.
He complained as he shoved the pan back in. I guess. The cakes that makes are good, though, Jude pointed out. He ran his hand over the floor as he absently searched for more bullets, rubbing his hand against the wood grain in the process. How does an alien even know what a cake is Yow! Dammek just about jumped a foot in the air when he heard Jude cry out in pain, and snapped his head that direction so fast it looked like it had to hurt.
What happened?
Jude looked at his hand unhappily as he saw the shard of wood sticking out, and Dammek nearly shoved his hand against his face.
Seriously? You shrieked that loud because you got a splinter?
Hey, it hurt, alright? And it took me off guard. Jude shot back. He grunted unhappily, looking at the splinter in him. With a sigh, he braced himself and took hold of the splinter in his teeth, then quickly pulled with a flinch and spat it out as soon as it was free from his skin. Oof, went pretty deep, Jude muttered. Already, blood was beating up at his fingertip in a tiny red globule. Great, now he'd have to find a bandage or something to wrap it up with. He got up to go find something from his drawer before a hand suddenly grabbed his wrist. Hey! He squawked indignantly. What are you doing? Ignoring him completely, Dammek wrenched Jude's hand closer to his face and shifted his shades a bit with his free hand. Jude assumed it was to look at his injury, but he did it in a way that didn't let him see his eyes. They went right back to where they were in a moment anyway. Let go of me!
What the haberdashery is this?
He asked sharply. What is what?
Your blood!
Jude fixed him with a befuddled stare. What about my blood? What are you talking about?
Do I have to spell it out for you? Why is it that color?
Dammek asked sharply. Jude twisted and grunted until Dammek finally let him go, at which point Jude rubbed at his wrist.
What do you mean, why? Red is the color that blood is. Everybody knows that.
A thought struck him.
Is your blood not red?
No, I'm a bronze blood. All trolls have different blood colors. Hemospectrum is bulbshine on Alterneon, but we have it. You guys don't?
Well, no, we just have red. That's it.
Jude stated, matter-of-factly. The sunglasses blocked any indication of where Dammek's eyes were at any given time, but Jude had the distinct impression he was staring at him. He opened his mouth as if to say something, but then sniffed the air as he looked suddenly at the Easy Bake Oven where smoke, the scent of cake burning, was starting to drift from.
Piffle, piffle, piffle!
He raced over and started fumbling with it while Jude shook his head and made to get a bandage.
What a weirdo.